But before I do that, I want to go over the latest TSA just by reading the headlines, and then I want to look at what their counterstrike's going to be. And I'm not just going to give you my breakdown, knowing their mindset, their modus operandi, the basic pathology of these people, how they operate. I'm going to give you examples of them operating in plain view right now, staging the printer cartridge attack and the German attack of last week on the German aircraft. But before I go any further, here's just some of the headlines. TSA searches our trains and subways next. And Kurt Nemo's article goes over it. They've already announced they are next, and they've already been beta testing it. And Kurt probably needs to add at the bottom of his article that they've already beta tested it. Okay, continuing. That's linked up on Drudge, by the way. Passenger chooses strip down over pat down. People are now, like folks did in Germany earlier this year. This happened in San Diego. Samuel Walansky, and I want to get him on the show. They wanted to pat him down, so he just stripped down into his underwear. They went ahead and arrested him. They also charged another lady for videotaping it. So they're going to videotape you, but you're not going to videotape them in the commission of their crimes. Beck says Obama will blame terror attack on TSA resistance. So Beck, this weekend on Freedom Watch, again, follows our lead. And little notice comments made during an appearance of Judge Andrew Napolitano's show on Fox News, Glenn Beck warned that Obama administration wouldn't hesitate to exploit a terror attack targeting airliners to blame the event on people protesting naked body scanners and TSA groping in airports. He says, let's get people to rise up and say no to scanners. Something happens. The president then has the ability to finally give a speech on airport security and say, I was trying to protect you, and these people stood up against these scanners, and these people died because of it. You have to stop listening. I'll protect you. That's actually what White House strategists are saying. So Beck went on to say, implying that Obama administration would exploit a terror attack to blame it on those protesting against scanners and TSA groping in airports. He made similar comments this month, saying the Obama administration would stage a terror attack to blame it on Glenn Beck, myself, and others. Continuing, here's Mike Adams' Natural News report on it up at Infowars.com. TSA needs false flag security incident to convince Americans to accept obscene pat-downs and set that precedent. And I believe they will be doing it sooner rather than later. That's what this thing in Germany was, but they got caught. Another key article by Kurt Nemo. TSA tactics find ominous parallel in Nazi Germany. They started out by making people just raise their hands up above their heads. Then, just like the TSA does, and notice in this photo of the body scan, you can see the bones in the guy's hand and the bones in his fingers. You notice those things are so high-powered, it's actually looking into the guy's body there. I mean, this is what they're hitting your body with. All these top scientists are on record saying it is giving you radiation dose. And then meanwhile, the TSA lies and says it's good for you. Yeah, just like DU is. But it goes through all the famous photographs of women being herded into pits with their toddlers in their arms about to be machine gunned. So tyrants always love to strip you down naked. The Japanese would do that to our troops before they cut their heads off. The communists would do it. It's a final act of humiliation. They got little babies here with pigtails. They're getting ready to blow their heads off. There's even video of it if you're willing to watch it. You know what? You need to understand what government does. Germans thought it couldn't happen. Russians thought it couldn't happen. Chinese thought it couldn't happen. When they set the first it was papers, please, in 1933. By 40, it was getting that pit. I'm about to blow you and your kids' heads off. We are the government. And they found the control freaks in 33 who wanted to carry out the humiliation. And by 1940, they got what they really wanted, drunk on people's blood. Here's another report. Will TSA groping destroy tourism in the United States? We've already talked about that. It already is destroying it. Security protests could disrupt Thanksgiving travel. That's AP. Continuing. Now, here is the really good news. Then I'll come back and give you the bad news. They're going to strike back. TSA pat-down went too far, agency chief says. ABC News. TSA administrator says search of passengers' underwear should have never happened. Says agency may rethink protocols. So, they were talking to ABC, and ABC employees and news people are saying, look, they stuck their hands down my pants. See, they ordered them to do this nationwide a month ago. They start doing it, and people just 3-4 weeks ago couldn't believe me when I said I saw them touching women's genitals through their pants. People are like, oh, Alex is making that up. Now it's hands in pants. People said, oh, Alex is making that up. Now they're having to admit that it is happening, and they're saying, oh, that may, notice he says, that may be going too far. See, they're always pushing it as far as they can, training you that they own your body. The beleaguered head of the Transportation Security Administration said today that at least one airport passenger screening went too far, where an officer reached inside a traveler's underwear, and the agency is open to rethinking its current protocols. An ABC News employee said she was subjected to a demeaning search at Newark Liberty International Airport Sunday morning. The woman who checked me reached her hands inside my underwear and felt her way around, she said. It's basically worse than going to the gynecologist. It was embarrassing. It was demeaning. It was inappropriate. It was in public. They deny they were reaching into your pants, but when ABC News says it's happening to our employees, you know, we've been videotaping this happening, they say, okay, well, maybe we'll look at that. They're putting their hands down people's pants nationwide. They've been ordered to do this. See, this is always a covert program to isolate people, to see what they can get away with, to train these psychotic goons to do anything. Here's another one. In shift, TSA chief says screenings to be minimally invasive. I know their MO. They're going to continue, they're going to intensify, and then stonewall and say, we don't know what you're talking about. Here's another one from the Hill newspaper. Analyst, TSA methods will kill more Americans on highway. The recent public ire towards the TSA new pat-down and body imaging screening methods is likely to cause more people to drive automobiles and forego air travel, say two transportation economists who have studied the issue. And it goes through Steve Horowitz, professor of economics, and others, saying that driving is much more dangerous than flying and are far more likely to be killed in automobile accidents. The result will be the new TSA procedures will kill more Americans on the highway. Yes, honeybees kill more than terrorism. And it just goes on from there. TSA forces amputee to remove prosthesis, separates her 4-year-old son from her. I mean, they're taking the kids away now, training the kids to have their genitals touched. There is a big backlash to remove the TSA from the airports. These private companies don't even have to have them there. Now, here's how they're going to counter. We know that the toner cartridges that were sent in England a month ago, they tested them. The British said these aren't bombs. Obama came out and gave a speech and said, yes, they are. How did he know they were supposedly bombs when the British had tested them? Because they were supposed to play along with the hoax of the drill. And we now know, buried in an MSNBC article titled Around the World, A Race Against Time Bombs in the Air. And this is from November 6th, so about 18 or 16 days ago. Buried in the article, it says the FBI called FedEx and UPS, which had participated in the government anti-terrorism drill in August. The exercise, a homemade bomb, slipped onto a cargo plane. And it goes on, dealing with attacks from Yemen. Now, you notice that, again, they always use a drill, so if they get caught planting the fake bombs, they don't get in trouble. Now, what happened last week? What developed last week? For 2 days, they announced that they'd found a bomb, a clock, and explosives in a suitcase on a German airplane. This came out 2 days after the German government, the Deutsche government, fear-mongered headline, German government warns of possible November terror attack. And then 2 days later, magically, a bomb is on a plane. They say it's real. Then they come out as a footnote and say it wasn't. See, all part of the hyping. And then it comes out in the AP and the Daily Mail, fake bomb aboard German passenger jet was made by U.S. firm to test airport security. the firms that are getting money out of all this security. A lot of times they use private contractors, so the government has several degrees of separation. So, bomb found on German-bound plane in Nambia, police say, and then again, they don't retract and tell you it was the government. So, how are they going to counter us? Guaranteed they're going to find more bombs. They're going to put more lunatics on board planes that are drugged out of their minds, more Muslim homeless. And it doesn't matter how many witnesses see them getting the homeless person on the plane. Doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter if the State Department comes out and admits they work for them. The public will then say, give us more genital groping. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.